Hey everyone, so in today's video, I will be doing an updated what is inside of the Texas Cosmetology kit. So we are going to go through each bag and go over everything that you want to pack inside of your kit. Now, again, I hope you guys have the latest candidate information bulletin. If you do not, please always check the description box. I always try to put additional information on there or any type of updates that I may come across, and of course a link to the PSI packet. So make sure that you have the latest one, okay? Because there are some items that they are requiring for you to have labeled, and then others that do not need to be labeled. And it states on there that items that do not need to be labeled, and doing so may result in loss of points. So this is actually can be found on page 12 on your PSI packet, as you guys can see right in there. So make sure that you are paying attention to everything that they are wanting and requiring of you to do, okay? So again, we're gonna start off with our first bag. So our first bag is the pre-examination setup and disinfection bag, okay? So in this bag we have, here's our bag. Now this is about a two gallon bag. We have our paper towels. We have, of course, our mannequin. Now the mannequin is usually not inside of this bag, and also remember that your mannequin needs to be pre-prepped with the lash. Again, I just threw the mannequin on here so you guys can have a visual that you obviously need to have a mannequin with you the day of the test. Of course, you'll be doing everything on the mannequin, but you want to make sure that the mannequin is prepped. I have a whole video on that, so if you haven't watched it, go ahead and do so. So again, our bag, and again, notice that it is labeled. We have our paper towels. These do not need to be labeled. We have our mannequin. We have a blood spill kit. Now, all the items that are inside of this bag usually stay on your station. Now, please keep in mind that this blood spill kit is not the one that you will be using for the actual blood exposure. This is on your station for just in case you were to, by accident, cut yourself. So in here you will have, of course, your gloves, your band-aids, your antiseptic wipes, all of that. So again, this is for you if something was to happen to you. And trust me, you never know, okay? So this stays on your station. We have our water bottle. We have our EPA registered disinfectant solution. All of that needs to be labeled. Of course, our hand sanitizer. We have our packaging tape. Make sure that you do take a good tape with you. Now, if for whatever reason they do not allow you to tape your bag, just do as they say. If they provide a hook for you to use, then you do that, okay? But of course, just take it just in case. And then of course our trash bag. The trash bag, they want it to be labeled. So again, you guys can make your own labels or buy the just a plain label, and you can write it on there. As long as it's in English, it won't be a problem. I would just say use a black permanent marker or Sharpie, or again, something that can be printed off will work just as fine, and just put tape over it like I did. We have a cape. We have a black cape, and of course our mannequin stand. All of our students do take a mannequin stand. They typically do not take tripods. So I would just say do as you've been trained by your school, your instructor, but all of our students do take a mannequin stand. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this first bag. Again, this is the pre-examination setup and disinfection, which is typically the first bag that you take out at the very beginning of the exam. This is where you're setting up everything. You're setting up your station, you're disinfecting your area, all of that good stuff, basically getting ready for the test itself. Now, I would say take your mannequin out at the same time that you're doing your setup and disinfection, but just kind of listen for instructions. Again, I do not work for PSI, you guys. I just go off of feedback that I get from you guys and from my students. So just listen for specific instructions. But again, I just wanted to include the mannequin in this part so that, of course, you are aware that you also have to have a mannequin with you the day of the test. So anywho, let's go on to our next bag. Our next bag will be the monomer and polymer over tip service. So this is the bag where all the items are in. So I'm gonna go through each thing that you are required to have inside of the bag. So we're gonna start off with 2 towels. So as you guys can see here, we have 1, 2. You also want to take regular absorbent paper towels, at least 3. We have a jar with cotton. We have our hand sanitizer, our approved EPA disinfectant. We have our little finger here with the free edge. Now, what I would suggest that you do is either take something like this. I do know that some students decide to take the a hand that looks like this. I personally think that it is much easier to work with cosmetology students. It's easier to work with just a plastic finger, and again, this one has a free edge. Now, on the PSI packet, it does state that your finger can already be pre-prepped with a tip. Now, as you guys can see, this is already mimicking a natural nail. So our students just take it just like this, and then the day of the actual test, they have their bag with tips, and they simply, of course, go straight into gluing it. Now, what I would suggest is that the tips that obviously that you do decide to take, make sure that they are a good size. Don't let the day of the test be the first time that you're actually sizing the tip to the finger. So make sure you do that ahead of time. So I believe this is a number 6 tip, and I think it fits pretty good. Next, of course, we have our glue. We have a nail brush. We have our buffer, our orange wood stick. These are just tweezers, you guys, to remove cotton from the jar. We have our nail tip cutter. We have our metal cuticle pusher. We have our just a nail file. And then, of course, we have a brush, our double dapping dish. And then we have our odorless products, okay? So we have our powder, our monomer, we have the dehydrator, and the primer. So as far as this is optional, this dropper is just to get your liquid out of the bottle into the dapping dish without making a mess. So this is optional, and I feel like it does help. So that's optional. We have a small trash bag. You have to remember that all of your trash bags need to be labeled. So trash bag, and then of course our tape to be able to tape our trash bag to our table. Okay, and then this is just a normal paper towel, and that will be to clean the station that you will be working on. And then we have our pre-sanitized implement box. So basically everything, it's empty right now because all of these items would be in here. I just took everything out just for the purpose of the video so you guys could see it. But anywho, there it is again, just a shot of everything that is inside of your monomer and polymer over tip service. Again, this is for the Texas Cosmetology practical exam. There's our bag. This is quite a large bag. I want to say that's like almost like a 2-gallon. I would say get at least a 1.5 or a 2-gallon. I will try to link a lot of these items in the description box if any of you guys are looking to create and make your own kit. Hopefully you guys can find some items on there if you feel the need to purchase them. Also, make sure you have a brush that you are comfortable working with. So a brush, maybe your favorite brush. That way it makes everything a lot easier. But again, this is it here. Not too bad. Try to only take the items that you absolutely only need. That way you're straight to the point. You don't get confused with any extra items that are not needed. So again, this is more of an updated version. You guys, I do not work for PSI, so I just work off of feedback that my students give me. So again, always ask for you know, advice from your instructor, your school. If you guys have any questions, I always try to answer you guys as much as I can. But of course, this is just a simple guide to help some of you guys out there. There we go. Let's go to our next bag. Our next bag is the Blood Exposure Incident Service Bag. So in this bag, we have 2 paper towels, and one is for you to lay all of your items on top of, and then the other will be to disinfect your station with. We have gloves, we have Band-Aids, we have our gauze, we have our alcohol prep pads, we have our trash bag, and again, make sure that your trash bag is labeled, and we have our biohazardous bag. Now, this is just a normal Ziploc bag, and if you're interested in getting stickers that look like this, I actually got these on Amazon. I'll link them on the description box, and they look like this. You're able to peel the bag and just stick them on, you know, any bag. So very convenient. So for anyone that is interested in those. And that's pretty much it. I always suggest that you actually take 2 pair of gloves just in case one rips or just in case one falls on the ground. You have extras. But again, very simple. This is all you need for that service. Again, this is the Blood Exposure Incident Service Bag. Again, this is for the Texas Cosmetology Practical Exam. Our next bag is the Eyelash Strip Application Service Bag. So in this bag, we have our original bag. This is about a 1 gallon size Ziploc bag. We have our gloves. We have a towel with a clip. We have our tweezers, our glue. You guys know this is my favorite glue in clear. We have our container where we have our lashes. And now if you cannot find something like this, you can simply put them in a small bag and just label them pre-sanitized, just like this. Although you're only required to apply 1 lash, I always suggest you take at least 2 or 3, just in case. You never know. If one falls, you have extra ones if needed. So again, that's just what we use. We have our paper towels. There's 2 paper towels and our plastic cap to drape our mannequin with. And of course, we have our cape. Now, this is a small, it's actually a makeup cape, which I think is ideal because it's small. And if it's perfect for this section, you could even use something like that for the facial part of the exam as well. But anyways, again, we have our cape, our plastic cap, 2 paper towels, our original bag, make sure that's labeled, our eyelashes, our eyelash glue. Again, I suggest you take something clear. We have our tweezers, we have our towel with a clip just to help keep the towel on the mannequin nicely. And of course, we have our gloves. So again, that is it for the eyelash application service bag. All right, you guys, so now we are moving on to our facial service bag. So for our facial service bag, I usually put everything inside of a gallon size bag. I have 2 towels. A question I get asked is, does it matter what colored towels I take? Honestly, I don't think it matters. You could take black or white, which is go between those 2, or something dark. It really doesn't matter as long as you have the towels that you need. I think you should be fine. So again, we have 2 towels, we have a hair clip, we have our plastic cap, we have some spatulas. Again, these do not need to be labeled, okay? So pay attention. I cannot stress that enough. Do not label things that do not need to be labeled. So again, your spatulas, your headband, things like that do not need to be labeled, okay? So we have that. We have, again, our headband. We have a cape. Now, this can be that exact same cape that you had on your original pre-exam setup bag. That's another question I get asked. When do I switch capes? Do I have to keep the same cape throughout? Can I do that? Honestly, everyone does it a little different. Again, I cannot say this enough. kind of sounding like a broken record, but honestly, ask your instructor for advice. All of my students do things a little different, but either way, I would say if you're comfortable changing your cape after each service, there's nothing wrong with you doing that. Like, for example, I believe that after the facial, you'll be doing the waxing. You may be okay with keeping the same draping because it will be towel cape towel, so you do not need to remove the draping from the facial to then start working on the waxing service. But if you want to just put a cape in each bag to, you know, avoid not being sure if, you know, if you need to be changing your cape, then I will do that. You know, for your peace of mind, just do whatever feels comfortable. Ask your instructor for any advice, any feedback from other students that have taken the test. Ask what they have done. But again, every student is trained a little different, although we're all trying to obviously pass the test, and our goal is to do everything in the order that is being asked. But it's not very thorough. It doesn't say change your cape, you know, so things like that. But again, towel cape towel will be pretty much what you'll be doing for most of these services. So again, it doesn't hurt to have the towels and to have a cape in each bag, where of course it will be needed. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, so again, we have our cotton, and again, these are just inside of a jar. You could also have these inside of a Ziploc bag. It does not need to be a jar that looks like this. This is just what we have. We have our cleansing cream, okay? And again, you don't need a whole lot of product. We have our massage cream, we have our moisturizer, and of course we have our toner. And of course, this is in a little spray bottle. A lot of these items, like these little bottles, you guys can find them, you know, in the travel section at any store, even the dollar store. So again, you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to make in your own kit. So that's pretty much it for this bag, you guys. I hope that you guys are finding all of this helpful. I do have videos on pretty much this exact same setup as far as what's inside of the kit, but this is a more updated video that, you know, the test changes all the time. And again, I get feedback all the time from students that have gone, and so I'll either take an item out, put an item in, take labels off of one thing, add labels to another. So that's pretty much how we've been able to help a lot of you guys out there. So again, I hope you guys enjoy watching these. Okay, let's go on to our next one. Okay, we are now up to the waxing service with soft wax. So this is everything that is inside of our kit for that particular section. Again, we're using a 1 gallon Ziploc bag. We have 2 paper towels right here. We have our soft mock wax. Again, you will not be using actual wax. This is just Vaseline, you guys. So there you have it. We have our strips, our waxing strips, and again, they can just be in a small snack size Ziploc bag. We have our antiseptic, our astringent. We have our cotton. Again, these can also be in a bag or in a small container jar like this one. Then we have our spatulas, small spatulas. We have our gloves, our plastic cap, a headband, 2 towels with a clip, and of course a cape. Okay, so there you have it. That is all you need for the waxing service using soft wax. Okay, so again, make sure that these are all the items that you have with you the day of the test for this part of the exam. Now we have our hair shaping service bag. So for the hair cutting section, you guys, again, make sure you have your original bag. Make sure that it's labeled as shown on the video. We have 2 all-purpose combs. We have a rat tail comb. We have a small snack size bag with some neck strips. We have our cutting cape. We have our shears and our razor, and 4 clips, and of course our paper towels. Okay, so all of these items are needed for the hair cutting service for your Texas cosmetology exam. Of course, you'll need your spray bottle, but remember that your spray bottle is already on your station. You set that up at the beginning of the exam during the pre-examination setup and disinfection. So yes, you will be needing your spray bottle, but it will already be on your station. So these are the only items that are needed for the hair cutting, okay? So again, make sure you have a nice cape like this, and of course you cannot forget your neck strips, your shears, and you have to use a razor during your haircut. So make sure you have it. Make sure you're comfortable with the shears that you take with you the day of the test. And yeah, if you wanted to throw in there a few extra combs, you can do that. Again, here I just have 2, and you could probably do an additional rat tail comb just in case one falls. You want to, you know, dispose, and then you'll have an extra one with you. So feel free to do that. But other than that, this is pretty much all you need. Let's move on to our next bag. We are now at the permanent waving service bag. So we have our original bag, we have 2 paper towels, we have our chemical cape, we have 2 towels, we have 2 rat tail combs, we have 2 all-purpose combs, we have our end papers here in this small bag, we have 4 clips. If you feel the need to take more clips, then do so, but you only actually need only 4. We have our perm rods, okay? I suggest taking nothing smaller than this, you guys. Remember, you're only doing 6, but notice how I do have 7, just in case one falls, you have an extra one, but you only need to do 6 of them. We have our mock wave solution in one of these bottles, okay? We have our gloves, and then of course we have our cotton that is going to be wrapped around our perm rods. Now, remember that during that part of the test, they will ask you to do a saturation demonstration on all rods. So you'll be demonstrating the application of the solution on the mannequin once you have all your perm rods wrapped. And you'll be also demonstrating a test curl. So make sure that you do that and that you demonstrate that to the rater before you start taking everything down. So I just wanted to you know, put that out there, okay? So again, this is all you need. And of course, again, I already mentioned the gloves. This is all you need for that part of the test. Again, very simple, but everything is here. Let's move on to our next bag. All right, you guys, so we are getting close to the end, but we are now at the blow drying and thermal curling service section. Okay, so for this bag, we do have a quite large bag. The bag is about 1.5 again to 2 gallon bag, and that's because you will be putting your blow dryer and your curling iron inside of that bag. So this bag is a little big, but that's okay. Just as long as it fits, you should be fine. But again, I think it's a 2 gallon. We have our blow dryer, we have our curling iron. Now, all of our students take a Marcel curling iron, okay? I get asked that a lot also. You guys wondering if you can take a regular spring curling iron. Honestly, I don't know. I know that students have mentioned that they have taken one and you know, they didn't have any issues and they still passed. But again, I cannot vouch for that. All of our students are trained on how to properly use a Marcel curling iron. So therefore, this is what they take. So again, do as you've been trained. Ask your instructor, you know, do whatever she says. But our students take a Marcel curling iron. Next, we have a round brush. We have 4 butterfly clips. We have 2 rat tail combs and 1 all-purpose comb. We have our neck strips. So neck strips, you guys know that you want to check the temperature of your Marcel curling iron right before you actually start working on your mannequin. And so that is what the neck strips are for. And I just simply have them inside of a small sandwich size Ziploc bag. And then of course we have our paper towels or napkins. And again, the purpose of the napkins is to lay everything on top, and then the other one is to clean with, okay? So you want to clean before and after you start each section. So before you take everything out, reach for your paper towel, disinfect your station, throw that in the trash, disinfect your hands, take the other towel out, lay it in front of you, and then put all these items on top of that new towel. I hope that makes sense, okay? But again, everyone does it a little different. I know some students take a whole roll of white paper towels and keep it on their station. Hey, that is absolutely okay. If it works for you, do it that way, okay? So that is also fine. So again, this is it. This is what's inside of the blow dry and thermal curling service bag. I hope you guys are taking notes and writing things down, especially if you plan on building your own kit. This will definitely come in hand to kind of help you get started. Now, notice how there is not a cape in this bag. You can actually keep your mannequin draped from the previous section, which was the curl demo, okay? Now, if you soiled your towel, your cape, then you want to change it immediately. But if you didn't, then you can keep the towel, cape, and just take the towel that's on top and then just replace it with a new one and then continue. So you do not need to change the draping for this section. You can keep the draping from the previous section, okay? Again, I hope this makes sense, but if not, hey, just throw a cape in here and you can just switch capes for each section, okay? Let's move on to our next one. All right, you guys, so we are now at the chemical service preparation and the chemical application. So for this bag, we're going to start off by, okay, so we have 2 towels. So again, this is a chemical service, so it will always be towel, cape, towel. Again, if your mannequin remained cleaned and you did not saturate from the previous section, then you can keep the same draping. But I always suggest removing that towel that is, well, towel, cape, towel, the one that you have on top, and switching it out. But again, this is just so a reminder that it is towel, cape, towel that you have to drape your mannequin. So I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm all over the place today. But anyways, we have that. We have 3 different brushes, okay? We have 3 brushes. We have our gloves. We have our butterfly clips. We have our spatulas. For the protective cream, you're going to dispense using a spatula. You're going to get your protective cream out. We have our rat tail combs. We have 2 all-purpose combs. And then we have our mock solution. It's actually gel for each part of the chemicals. Again, you'll be doing the foil highlights. You'll be doing the hydroxide virgin relaxer application and the hydroxide relaxer retouch. So those do need to be labeled, as you guys can see. Again, we have our foils, our paper towels, and that is a 1-gallon bag, okay? Now, there's almost like a two-in-one in this one. For this part of the test, and again, I hope you guys have your PSI packet. All of this information is on there. Remember that they give you 10 minutes to prepare your mannequin. So during those 10 minutes, what you're going to be doing is making sure that the mannequin is nicely draped. You'll be sectioning your mannequin out into 4 sections. That's why you have 4 butterfly clips. And then you'll be applying the protective cream, okay, around the perimeter, around the hairline of the mannequin. That's why we have this. Once you have done that, you will then put your gloves on and then you will raise your hand. That is the first part of this section, is to prepping the mannequin, and they give you 10 minutes for that. After that, that's when you will actually start to do the foil highlight application service. For the foil highlight, it's not timed, so they kind of give everybody, you know, the time that they need to get this done. But either way, it shouldn't take no longer than 10 minutes. You're only required to do 2 foils, so that's not bad. You could either do a slice or a weaving strand on the mannequin, and then once you're done with that part, you will raise your hand and then you will go on to the hydroxide virgin relaxer and so forth. But anyways, this is what's in the bag. I hope this helps, and we'll go on to our next section. All right, you guys, so we all know that the end of the exam is the end of examination disinfection. Well, if you guys remember that when we first started this, our pre-exam setup and disinfection, on our station, we had our hand sanitizer, our EPA, and we even had a bag with paper towels. So for that section, I repeat, I do not have a bag with things to disinfect. And that is because everything that I need to properly disinfect my station for the end of examination is already on my station. So during that time, that is when you will, again, unclamp your mannequin, put your mannequin inside of your box, take the draping down, start disinfecting your station, the chair, everything that is basically in front of you, anything that you use, you start to properly disinfect it with your registered EPA disinfectant. You have paper towels already, you're throwing everything away, you're putting all your personal belongings into your box, into your kit, and that's pretty much it. By then you'll be done with the exam, and once you have everything, you untape your trash bag, you have everything inside of your box, then you are done with the test, and that is when you will raise your hand that you are actually done. So as you guys can see, I have all the bags here on video right now. How many bags do I have? Let's count them. So again, we have our pre-exam bag, our monomer over polymer, our blood exposure service bag, we have our eyelash strip bag, we have our facial bag, we have our waxing, our waxing bag. Then on this side we have our hair shaping, we have our hair shaping, our permanent waving, our chemical application, and then we have our blow dry and thermal curling. So again, they're not in order, but I just wanted to show you guys what the bags look like in general. Now, as far as what you put everything inside of, let me show you guys the duffel bag. It's the exact same duffel bag that I showed in my previous video. That is what the duffel bag looks like, Nothing fancy. I wish I had the exact measurements, but I don't. I'll try to find something and maybe link it, but it's almost like a gym bag. But again, you don't want to take anything too large, but again, big enough that it fits all of your bags and of course your mannequin as well. So you want to also label your bag, Pre-sanitized implements and materials. You can write clean on it, but it does have to be labeled. Do not forget that. All right. So again, very simple. This is basically all you will walk in and out of the facility with. Do not take anything, any additional things. Remember, you cannot number your bags. You cannot everything has to be labeled in English. So make sure that you guys are following the rules, and that you are also following all instructions. And again, just find your PSI bulletin that has all this information to help you out. Again, the purpose of my video is not to replace any type of teaching from a licensed establishment. I am not affiliated with PSI or TDLR in any way. I just do these to help you guys out there and also some of our students that may watch this later on. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys found the video helpful. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And like always, I will see you guys on my next one. Bye, guys.